I talk about a lot of projects on this channel, and almost every single one of them has something in common. And that is the fact that they are providing real world use case value. And to a lot of people leading up to just recently, they thought that that was just a joke. They thought it was a myth. Oh, real world use case value means absolutely nothing. But now people are starting to realize that utility is going to reign supreme in a very, very short amount of time, because I don't think that we have much time left until this space is fully regulated and utility actually is the main driver of value. Now, in this video, I actually want to talk about 4 projects. It's going to be XRP, XLM, XDC, and HBAR. More so specifically, I want to talk about what has happened this year for adoption of these 4 and why these 4 are going to be extremely valuable. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. Let's take a quick look at the performance of these 4. Now, yes, price action is going to change over time because I am recording this video a little bit ahead of time just because I am going to be traveling for the holidays, so I do apologize. But regardless, I don't care about the short-term price action. I care about what these projects have done in the last year. The last year, XRP is up almost 136%. XLM is up over 320+%. XDC is up 14% roughly. It hasn't really started to have that big move. I mean, if we're going off of, like the 2022 lows, then it is up a little bit more. But for the most part, XDC hasn't really had a big run up so far this year, but I do expect it to. And then, of course, HBAR also up 129% this year. Again, all these moves, in my opinion, are just the initial stage moves. I've shared on multiple occasions why I actually think that the moves that we are starting to see now are just those initial moves that we saw leading into the beginning year of 2021. And HBAR is actually a bad example of this. But XRP and both XLM actually are great examples of this because they initially started to run in November of 2020, and then the biggest moves actually started to happen in the beginning of the year. Now, I know that the lawsuit did hit in the beginning, but XLM is one that kind of experienced that big move. Again, all starting in the beginning of November. I think that we're kind of at that same exact position this cycle-wise where, we are starting to see the big moves happening in November, and we have the biggest moves of the cycle still ahead of us. So these 4, in my opinion, are going to be very big winners this cycle, and it's probably going to happen within the first quarter of 2025. Now, talking about that, let's address what's been happening with these projects. Let's actually start off with my media company, which is at the Web3 Alert over on X. This is a company that I actually run with Tokenizer. We put out a post, and this goes back, I think, to just October, actually, where I talked about these 4 projects. And it says that we've recently seen a couple significant developments in Fintech DLT. And these are some of the biggest moves that have happened around these 4. Obviously, it's just a couple moves. But these are some big ones. For an example, Stellar did have the MasterCard integration. XDC had Anigio and Oracle. XRP with the Ripple USD stablecoin, which will be issued out on the XRP Ledger as well as Ethereum. And then, of course, some big partners. And then, of course, Hedera with MTech with the Juniper Award. Each of these enterprise DLTs continue showing real demand and approval by industry leaders. Let's dive deeper to see what impacts each of these bring to the world of finance. For an example, of course, the Stellar and MasterCard integration. They collaborated to enable credentials for peer-to-peer remittances and transfers. This plan is to combine the benefits of both MasterCard's crypto credentials and Stellar network speed, thanks to Stellar's already well-connected ecosystem of cash to crypto and vice versa solutions. It makes MasterCard's partnership filled with potential. The use of credentials in P2P remittances is just the start of this collaboration. And of course, MasterCard aims to test bridging or bringing their services on chain to the Stellar network for further infrastructure of a true cash to crypto ecosystem. MasterCard has long been a world leader in financial services and card payments. Adding MasterCard with Stellar definitely helps the DLT adoption for payments. And of course, XDC's Anigio partners with Oracle, with MLETR growing in governmental talks. We've seen Anigio progress accordingly. with some governments already drafting official legislations for paperless trading and many others looking to follow suit. This all comes perfectly timed. And of course, the recent partnership with Oracle and Initio seems like it was just a matter of time before it was announced because of course, Oracle Trade Finance. It is a market-leading software for the trade finance space and in return, a critical tool to many financial institutions. Building upon this, there's a lot to go over, but I don't want to waste your guys' time too much. Of course, some very big partners of Ripple are going to be utilizing the stablecoin. Initially, it's actually 4 institutions, which we know about. Listen, as we really look at Ripple, I don't think that anyone would question me saying that Ripple is going to be a big piece of the new financial system, and XRP and the XRPL definitely have a very large role to fill. But outside of that, right, we have Hedera, with MTech winning the biggest award out there around fintech, which is the Juniper Research Award. Here we saw a total of, awards handed out. There were 2 specific winners that utilized DLT for their fintech operations. Ripple, which won, best cross-border payment solution, but MTech, which won best CBDC innovation as well. This just builds even more momentum onto MTech as they really begin getting more recognition and notice for what they've done in the CBDC space. Also, we just seen the professional services firm Accenture, which closely works with central banks on CBDCs, also invest in MTech. While the large majority of CBDC frameworks have been built in-house via central banks themselves, MTech delivers via the private sector with all the infrastructure right to central bank doorsteps. And again, there's a lot of names that are really kind of being recognized around this: Samsung, Google, Microsoft. There's definitely a lot of big players exposed to this, but at the end of the day, listen, the DLT space is just evolving, growing significantly, and the adoption from the enterprise side definitely is becoming very noticeable. When we look at Stellar, there's been a lot of collaborations already this year with some big names. Paxos, for an example, they are actually expanding to Stellar. This is with the Stellar Development Foundation, and this is all based around tokenization, actually. This represents another expansion of Paxos's tokenization platform. Is also going to be facilitating institutional adoption. A lot of what we are now starting to see from these players like Hedera, Ripple, Stellar, etc., it's all based around institutional focus, because the institutions are going to be the big ones that actually enter this market next. Because retail has been here for a while, but with regulations on the edge, it's a door that opens for the institutions to embrace this tech in a big way. And of course, yes, I did mention the Stellar MasterCard integration. This happened back in October as well. And then, of course, Taurus with Stellar. This happened back in June. This is also a big one. This is Taurus Custody. And this is all based around global financial institutions. And this is more so focusing on tokenization again. Tokenization has become the big talking subject of almost every single one of these enterprise grade DLTs that are fully embracing, institutions. Now, also outside of this, we have GMOZ.com Trust Company announces launch of stablecoins, GYEN and also ZUSD on Bitstamp. This is, of course, with Stellar. This happened back in June. Another big thing that we've been witnessing is the stablecoin adoption on a lot of these networks, which you'll see by the end of this video. Stablecoins are also a key that opens the door for DeFi innovation, tokenization innovation, and also the enterprises to get in and utilize liquid stablecoins for specific use cases. Also, we have over here that seller statement on Wisdom Tree Prime being available to users in 41 states. And if you guys didn't know this, back in May, actually, Wisdom Tree digital entities have issued 13 digital funds and a gold token on Stellar. And also, through their application Wisdom Tree Prime, which is exposed to 75% of the US population, they actually utilize Stellar within that application, which is a very big deal. So I wanted to bring this up because, again, this is kind of like a mixture of, just kind of retail adoption through something like Wisdom Tree, which is it's like I said, a very big deal. And by the way, they do mention that tokenization is also a focus of this as well. So, tokenization is definitely a big deal. Now let's talk about Ripple, because Ripple has had an incredible year. For example, here we have back in October, this is with Garanti BBVA. They collaborated to enhance the performance and security of its growing crypto trading platform. This is all through Ripple Custody. If you guys did miss it over here from Ripple, this goes back to October 10th. We're launching new features for Ripple Custody, bringing bank-grade custody solutions to fintech and crypto businesses. And we could see simplified onboarding, XRP Ledger tokenization and DEX support, pre-configured policy frameworks, RT compliance monitoring, and new UI. And again, that second one there is a very big one because it shows you that Ripple Custody still has the XRP Ledger tapped in a big way. And this is around tokenization and DEX support, because when you tokenize something, you're going to want to trade it. You're going to want to, swap it, buy it, sell it, whatever. So as we look at these expansions happening around Ripple Custody, it's actually very big for the XRP Ledger because it is exposed through, these partnerships. But also, the Ripple stablecoin is going to be a big one. This is going to accelerate institutional adoption of the XRP Ledger because, again, RLUSD is mainly for institutions initially, which, again, it's issued out on the XRP Ledger. Now, outside of this, we also know that the big banks like Societe Generale are issuing out their stablecoin. This is your CV stablecoin. It's actually going to be rolled out on the XRP Ledger, expanding beyond Ethereum and Solana. Again, the XRP Ledger has been getting major recognition recently, and I do think that this is only going to continue going forward. And then, of course, we have the Archix collaboration, which is a big one as well. This just recently happened, and this is around the tokenization revolution, which is also only going to continue to expand. Outside of this, XDC. Guys, XDC, outside of the Initio news, they have been working on expanding into other areas around the world, specifically, of course, Australia. And this is actually with DEC Australia and XDC Australia. They have been really kind of leading the digital revolution and really kind of making sure Australia is set to not only dominate around the digital revolution, but also to make sure that they have what they need in order to. And this is through, XDC Tech. This is definitely a big one. They have been really kind of starting to make a lot of noise around the whole world. And this is a lot. This has a lot to do with a lot of their events that they've been pushing around trade finance digitalization as well. Now, outside of this, pioneering a new era of digital infrastructure. If you guys did miss this, back in July, Deutsche Telekom MMS expanded its Web3 infrastructure business to run a node on the RWA-focused XDC blockchain as well. And this was definitely a big one to focus on. Again, outside of this, there's just been a lot of adoption for XDC through their trade finance solutions. And also, if you go back recently to October from Generation Infinity, they compiled a full update of what's been happening around the XDC ecosystem with RWA accelerators, the Finternet accelerator, subnets and interoperability, the DAO governance framework, but also XDC 2.0 launch. So XDC has been very busy. The team behind it's definitely been busy, and they've been pushing some very solid updates. So definitely focus on XDC. Now, last but not least, of course, Hedera. I've been talking about Hedera for a very long time on the channel, obviously, and this year alone, they've pushed major updates. Let's start with the stablecoins. So September, I just want to go back to September. The Australia digital dollar is set to launch on the Hedera network. It already did, I believe. This happened back in September. Again, like I said, stablecoin adoption, stablecoin growth only continues. Stablecoins are becoming a very big deal. You need to focus on stablecoins. They're overtaking Visa and MasterCard at this point in terms of volume. Trillions of dollars in stablecoin volume per year. It's crazy. So this is definitely a big one. Also, the Asset Tokenization Studio, another big update that we got back in September. This solidified the fact that Hedera is all in on tokenization, and they have been for years now. I mean, going all the way back to, I think, like 2022, they were talking about tokenization. I think even in 2021, they were starting to talk about it a bit. So, Hedera has definitely been at the forefront of the tokenization revolution. And also UDPN, Universal Digital Payments Network, they actually integrated stablecoins and CBDCs issued on the Hedera network. This was also a very big deal because this was with MTech as well. And, when we really look at what's going on, a lot of these integrations are very, very big for the adoption of the tech, adoption of the assets that are on these networks. And it all just really kind of leads down the path to a network effect. Outside of this, the HBAR trust, aka, we're talking about potentially an ETF and things like that. This was a very big update that happened back in October. Again, a lot of people really kind of hyped this up because of the fact that as we look at ETFs and things like that, they are bringing in a lot of volume, a lot of new faces as well. So this will definitely be very bullish for HBAR. But also, October 30th, Braille, regulated stablecoin issuer. Braille integrates the Hedera network for regulated stablecoin issuance. Again, stablecoins, tokenization. These are words that you're going to hear for probably ever now, because tokenization and stablecoins are so big now. All of the bigger players are starting to talk about them. At this point in time, it feels as though these are like the heavy hitting topics that everyone's been talking about, outside of course, like AI, for an example. But Hedera definitely is home for a lot of these big moves being made around the stablecoin and even the tokenization market. And talking more so about tokenization, Zonix, which is also a player that's working with Ripple with the XRP Ledger. They actually accelerated global real-world asset tokenization on Hedera back in the beginning of November, the month, right? And again, all of this is focused on institutional grade tokenization. They know that tokenization is going to be one of the biggest things that hits this market in a large way, because there's quadrillions of dollars out there to be tokenized, and we are just starting to see it happening in a very small way. So these networks are set for major adoption, major growth, and it's been an incredible year for a lot of these projects and a lot of these networks. And I just don't see how this alt season, these four don't have a tremendous run. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.